Namaste, hello, and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I am Jess Juntunen, your host for this hour of radiant wellness and soul forward living. Soul Fusion Cafe is such a beautiful place for sharing, for community. So I love hopping in over at the chat while we are here and getting in there with you live if I'm able to catch your comments or questions in the comment section on YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. That's where I'm usually checking. If you're over watching at Facebook on Oneness Talk Radio and you're live and you want to be able to hop in the chat, I'll see it if you hop over to YouTube. So go to Oneness Talk Radio on YouTube if you want to hop in the chat. Hi, Pauline. Nice to see you. And it's amazing to be back. And of course, we're also broadcasting at onenesstalkradio.com as well. And you can always catch up in the archives at onenesstalkradio.com and catch any shows that you've missed. So whether you're here live or catching the recording, it's always the perfect time. It really always is the perfect time to be here and really honoring and trusting in whatever we receive when we need it. We don't always know why we end up watching what we were watching or listening to what we are or signing up for a class or, doing something, right? There's some reason we're guided, but we don't always even know exactly what it is. And it might be something really simple, a little aha, or a connection with another being in the community, or who knows what it is. Just being open to that potentiality and possibility. And speaking of potentiality and possibilities, if you're tuning in live and you would like to request a small reading, or if you would like to ask a question, you can call in to the live call in line, which is 517 208 1500. That number is 517 208 1500. And today we're talking a lot about connection. Connection is the theme of our show. And, I think there's so much that could be said. It could be a book, right? And what I've been learning in my own journey about what connection means and what I have seen, it's just really inspired this show. And I have to open up with the amazing experiences of the WWA Global Festival that I am fresh back from. Just came back about 1 week ago, and it was incredible. So if you don't know about it, or you haven't caught my show, or aren't familiar with me or what I've been up to, Women Wellness Awakenings. This is a global movement, a collective, a community. It is connection. It is all about connection with the divine feminine, our wellness, and our connection to our spiritual path and journey. This is for all beings, even though it's Women Wellness Awakenings. It is not exclusive of anybody. It is the honoring of the divine feminine that's within us all, and really honoring the women as those that are embodying that divine feminine and ushering in this balanced awakening between masculine, feminine, eagle, condor, all of this balance that has been coming forward. And WWA Global is more than a one-time event or more than a thing. I mean, we're doing something a little new. It's myself, wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka, master lady Kira Ra. You can learn a lot more if you go to wwaglobal.com, over at my site, selfascensionstudios.com, and at shriankira.com as well. This is a passion project, and it began last August 2020 on 88 The Lions Gate, where we ignited a home study experience, which really, with all my heart, go and take that experience, because it doesn't matter when you take it. We created that home as a home study now for you to be able to participate in, receive, and be part of the blessings that is WWA. 4-week journey, instantaneous manifestation, life-changing conversations and experiences. And then from there, we birthed into WWA mentoring, and we led 6 months of mentoring experiences that started last September and culminated leading into March 2021. And those mentoring experiences were small group, there was individual sessions, there were many ways for beings to participate. And people had massive up levels in their experience. And, with all my heart and soul, go and view on YouTube. I'm going to get an edited version of this video soon to share with you. But WWA Global, the WWA experience, there is a whole YouTube video where Kira and I and a group of past participants and current participants all sat together in a circle down in Ecuador just a couple weeks ago, not even, and shared about the experiences that have been had, and listened to what the women that are there are sharing about what happened in their lives and the magic that happened in that session. And it's free. It's on YouTube. You can get it at the Oneness Talk Radio YouTube. You can get it at Official Shri and Kira YouTube. You can email me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, and I will get you the link if you have trouble finding it. And so please watch that and explore that if any of this is speaking to you, because we shared so much in that. And these mentoring experiences and the women. So it culminated, but also kicked off a whole new cycle just at this March equinox that we just passed through. And I was in Ecuador. Those of you that have been following my journey know I was there for several weeks preparing for our festival. We began with calling it a summit, but it was really much more than a summit. It was a festival that brought together the indigenous Kenyari, the lineage holders in that part of the Andes Mountains that did ceremony all weekend long. All of these participants that have been part of the WWA experience in different ways, and were coming together in this energy of oneness. And there were presentations, workshops, music, dancing, ceremony. Much of it was broadcast to the world. Much happened there on site that you couldn't have seen unless you were there, right? But all of the experiences, in person, virtual, it really gave everyone what they needed to receive. And there is such a blessing that has really come forward. And it's the blessing of the moment of the oneness that has come together, the blessing that we have joined together in these circles of support all around the world, and that we came together at the equinox in this profound way, holding the energy and vision of what we believe for a healed world and planet, and creating that. And the March equinox is an opening that we are in a bridge that we really culminate in September. So we have begun the mentoring circles. We have another 6-month journey of group mentoring with myself, Shri, and Kira. Honestly, we're offering these at a price I've never seen other coaching programs do, at a price that I don't do with my individual coaching. You're receiving so much. 2 dynamic sessions a month with Shri, Kira, and I, and we break out into small groups, and you get individualized time to work on your vision, your goals, your dreams for your personal life, your professional life, the world. And we hold one another's visions. And it's powerful, and, whether or not you do the mentoring, you could still take part in WWA in the way that calls you, home study. But please consider the mentoring. If there's any part of you that says, I want a community and a space, and I want to actualize and live in instantaneous manifestation. Yes, I want wellness. I want my vision. I want to see the world in a way that I know is possible for us to live this experience together. And in September, we will have another festival in Ecuador in the Andes Mountains. It is an open portal of self-ascension. I don't know how to explain that if you haven't encountered anything like this in your life, but things happen even in the eyes of those that might go there to try to disprove or think it's all phony or crazy or whatever. Things happen there. Things really happen. People really do reverse age there. I've seen it. I've experienced it. Things things happen while you're out working or just being in nature or outside, and the animals and trees and energies that come forward, things that happen during ceremonies. It's very authentic, very real, and a remembrance of who we really are at a deep cellular level. And oh, thanks, Pauline. Yes, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com. And you had a question about when you call in. When you call into the 517 number, it just stays muted. So if you call in, you'll just be hearing the show while you're listening. And when I'm ready to take in callers, I can call on people. So that call in number, again, if anyone out there is looking for it, 517-208-1500. And since I'm over here at the call board now and talking about it, let's go ahead and bring in our first caller. Let's see. Is this Pauline, perhaps?
Hi. I actually, it's funny you mentioned reverse aging. I saw a clip. I don't know if you interviewed Tom Palladino, but I saw something where you talked about it, and I had
Yes.
heard about him, and I never followed through. And I finally followed through. I'm like on that 30-day program, and he's got a. I know that it's probably already. It could still be done without going through the scalar thing, but I think he has an actual program now for anti-aging. Maybe it connects with what you guys are
Okay.
doing. It's like interesting.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. Really, really awesome. And I think even as I was coming to and looking through my emails, I saw an email. I think it was you asking about if I did that show. And I did. Tom Palladino, Paulina is talking about has a scalar light technology. And I interviewed him. Oh gosh, I know it might have been close to a year ago even, or at
That's
least
why I can't find it. I've been looking. I have the first person on the show
okay.
that talked about him to me that I can't access it.
I
So I'm
will
like
look
trying
for
to
that
find
in
out.
okay, I'll find that interview in the archive and get that link to
I thought
you.
maybe he was a sponsor or something because that maybe there was because like I've
Yeah.
seen you do other clips of different. You're
Yes.
talking you do meditations and other things. So I don't know. That's why I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think
But
that's amazing though that he's doing that. And like yeah, he has amazing products with his light technology and that he's doing the reverse aging thing and you picked up on that and that you took
yeah,
action and you're
it just
doing
like within the last
oh,
2 months.
that's
During the probably the
amazing.
WWA, I think it was.
So synchronistic. Yeah, we should
I
get in
know
touch
there's a
with
connection. It has to be. I just realized that. As far as
yeah.
like,
I might have to
yeah,
reach
even
out
if
to
I didn't hear
Tom.
about it,
Yeah, it's time to
yeah,
reach out to Tom and say, "Hey, how's it going?" and get him back on the show and yeah,
yeah,
see.
get him back on. Maybe he can sponsor your show
Yeah,
or
who
something because
knows? Yeah.
it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you because I've never gotten a mini meeting with you. Do you mind?
I would love to do that. I would love to offer that. Is there anything you want to share before I do?
No, I actually got lucky and got one from here the other day, but I'm sort of I
Oh.
go in and out, so I'm not consistent, and I don't really want to follow anybody just solely because I've been doing all this work all those years, but I mean you guys have really pushed me forward by saying are you ready? Are you ready? You really don't you can't go I can't go back. It's not
Yeah.
possible. It's
Yeah.
just that I think the courage and the fact that the community, I love it. Even if I don't follow every single thing, it just resonates with me so much.
Oh.
And I love you guys because you do have community and you don't have to be following everything that Kira and even you do. It's sort of
Yeah.
everybody on the one that's separate. I'm finally listening to each show and I'm getting a little bit of everything from everybody. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's so amazing. I'm just smiling so big because this is what it's about is this connection, and what you're sharing. I love that you're connecting with so much of the Oneness Talk radio community because all voices matter and all messages matter. And yeah, everybody's path is their own path. I was just telling one of my sons this the other day. They're asking about spirituality and whatever. They've had me as their mom forever, but they're teenagers and they're starting to ask a little differently or think about it, and I'm like, yeah, everybody's path is their own. No one can tell us, what we have to follow or do. And community really is about supporting everybody in their path and their way, as long as we're all in a respectful place of each other. That's what it's really about. So thank you for being part of this and seeing how special and amazing it is because I wouldn't want to be a part of, anything else. I love what we're doing here at Oneness and what Sri and Kira are doing in this community. It clearly means a lot to me. So as I'm touching into you in the honor of doing a mini reading for you, I was just putting oils on, and these oils I got called to grab before the show. And as soon as you started asking for your reading, I started putting them on, and they are myrrh and patchouli. And I felt really called that I share that with you because I do believe these are oils that came forward in part for your reading today. So it might be something just...
Really, I thought about the Palo Santo because I saw that on Kira's website.
Yes, and that's amazing too. And I have a piece of Palo Santo here, in fact, from...
Oh, wow.
And this is a piece from...
Send the center.
It is. I'm going to
add that vibration.
Yes. I'm actually going to light it a little bit even because I was called to grab this as well. So, this came from Ecuador, this piece. So yeah, we're just doing like a little clearing. And myrrh and patchouli are also so beautiful. These are all really earthy smells, So what I'm feeling is this grounding and protection energy. Myrrh and patchouli and frankincense, those get used in, a lot of religious ceremonies because of their sacredness, but they connect us. The patchouli is like a connector between our heaven and earth self. It's like the cosmic connector between the two. Myrrh offers us like and myrrh offers just like a beautiful...
I think frankincense and myrrh was important, but I never thought of patchouli. That's a great reason for...
Yeah, so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so as I'm connecting with you and these beautiful scents are all around now, just breathing for a moment, taking your hand to your heart. Wow, and there is just like immediately, it's like I got the image of like the boulder sliding off the back, the weight that gets carried around on the back, on the shoulders. Even it's like on the back.
Self-imposed, right? Nobody else put it on me. I think I self-imposed it. Sort of
we do self-impose these, So it's time. I'm seeing it like wanting to roll off, and I'm seeing that it's like you're doing the work, but there's this last piece where you just stand up straight and it can slide off. And this is in two parts what they're sharing. There is a physical aspect to moving your body that's really important for you to spend some time, whether you're sitting or standing, but that you are really letting the foundation of your body, your pelvis and the lower spine, like really stack itself straight. And you really are mindful of that you're stacking your body like from the pelvis up, and you're letting the shoulders open. And really like, if you've been watching or tracking with anything, we've been doing a lot of this chalice energy. There's all this amazing energy that's coming in, and we are the chalice. So lifting the arms up, letting the head come back, and just bringing in light, breathing it in, visualizing it. Maybe the eyes are closed. And then as you feel complete, you may do that for a while. You may breathe for a while. And then when you bring your arms down, you're bringing them to your heart in a prayer or to your heart. And then just making sure that the shoulders are up and back, and notice if there's tension in them. Just be aware and don't like force it, but you're just letting the heart center open some more. And it's like that boulder can keep sliding down the back as the heart keeps lifting and keeps going up. And it's just keep the eyes on the divine at all times. Keep the eyes on the divine in everything you're doing. You are surrounded by masters. You are sitting at the round table. It's like you are one of the masters, it. And it's really your time to just claim it, anchor it, and walk it without any fear. Nothing else could ever happen to you that's ever happened before. And they're just sharing, it's like it's your time, it's safe, and you can really be one of those that holds that portal for so many other, as you already are doing. And it's just your time to just keep advancing that walk, letting the shoulders up, letting that boulder slide off, breathe often and smile often. And that's what they have to share with you today. So thank you for calling in and sharing.
Thank you. Actually, she told me to breathe more, and she didn't mean just for the breath. You actually verified a second time that she said.
Oh,
what Kira said as well.
Oh, good.
Breathing and not the breath's sake. she said, for other
Oh,
reasons.
good. I love when things are confirmed
Maybe
like that.
Maybe she met the chalice. That was what I started to think about.
Wow. Well,
Chalice. Oh, beautiful.
I got goosebumps. Those are truth chills. So if you thought about the chalice and that all connected just now, absolutely. So
Thank you so much. Let me let
thank
somebody
you.
else get on. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Oh, when is you're having are you doing a new moon like you usually
Oh,
do?
yes, I'll talk about that next, in fact. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you. Amazing caller. Thank you, Pauline, for calling in, that amazing connection. And I love when things line up, right? And we see, oh, aha, and those things connect. And it's just always an honor and a blessing. And then Pauline brought up a really important um, point or question about my new moon ceremonies. I do new moon ceremonies every month. And before I got on today, I was updating my webpage because it's looking a little different this month. I'm still doing a new moon ceremony. However, it's going to be in conjunction with the I Am Discourses Monday Magic series. So, Pauline, if you are part of I Am Discourses, Monday Magic with Shri and Kira, you will automatically have the new moon ceremony because we're doing them together. So, those of you that are like, what are you talking about? I will explain this a little bit because I think it's so timely. The Monday Magic series has been happening for a year now. This was something that my mentors, Sri Ramka and Kira Ra, came forward with, right? Like COVID hit, like all these things were going crazy in the world. And those of us that have been saying yes to this path of self ascension and being committed said, we're going to keep doing this work. And Shri and Kira started putting more work out, and they birthed Monday Magic, which was an opportunity to go through series of ensoulments that Kira Ra ensouls. It's different than channeling. Like I channel, everyone can channel. You can all learn to channel if you don't know how. We're all channels. And an ensoulment's a little different. And I've witnessed these in person. So I know the value of these ensoulment scripts. There's like 10 years worth of these monthly ensoulments that came through from archangelic realms and beyond. And they're so pure. So as these Monday magics went, there was one lesson being delved into each Monday. And you would get different messages, encodings. They were like amplified. It was pretty amazing. And they tracked with everything that's happening now. It's like these messages that came through even in 2005 or 2007 were for now. And that's how these messages are. They might be 6 pages in a PDF or 10 pages, but they are like a volume of wisdom when you read them or are guided. Monday Magic series is one where you could participate via a donation. I mean, you could literally donate $1 and be part of the Monday Magic. And it's 12 weeks long each cycle, and then they do another one. And all the proceeds, if you have more to donate more, because all the proceeds go to Clinica Linda, which I got to see the grand opening of while I was in Ecuador. It's amazing. It's offering pain relief, medical support, and all kinds of support to local people, indigenous people. Those of the area can come and receive free health assessments and care, and pain relief with this amazing laser treatment. It's beyond words. So the funds support that, and they also are supporting water bearers project initiatives, which I had the honor and pleasure to meet the executive director and director of, Jane Britton and Aaron Hoppenberg, who created the water bearers, and they get water to communities all around the world, including in Ecuador, but all over the globe. They are doing projects that help clean water that changes communities. So your donations 100% are supporting humanitarian aid projects. So I Am Discourses is starting on April 12th, Monday. And that is the same day as the new moon. So it really made sense that it wasn't even just a matter of making sense. They just went together that we would do the new moon ceremony the night the I Am Discourses start. One difference is now this time we're not doing a series of ensoulments. We're doing this book, the I Am Discourses. It's volume 3 of a whole series. So if you go and start looking up the I Am Discourses, you might see different volumes. This is volume 3, I Am Discourses, it's called. And this is Saint Germain's words that came through. And that's all about the violet flame and the violet ray, transmutation, and the power of I am. I mean, Saint Germain is the I am. Whenever we make a declaration about ourselves, I am tired, we are creating our reality. We are the creators of our reality. This is very much a guidebook to how to live. I've not read the entire thing yet, and I don't think we will start beginning to end every week. But on Monday, April 12th, we will begin this. You can go look up and get a copy. A newer print copy is, $15. We're saying, hey, you want to go find the oldest copies you can and claim yours. We're trying to claim all of these. Shri and Kira on their website have the story about this on the products page. If you go to shriandkira.com and you navigate just on the front page, you'll see an I Am Discourses Monday Magic upcoming. So when you register for that, you're getting in the new moon. For those of you that are like, I just don't know if I really want to do both or whatever, hey, I'm happy to facilitate a new moon balancing for you, an individualized moon balancing or reading. A session, something that would support you. I could record you a personalized meditation, just reach out to me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, or go to Jess at selfascensionstudios.com and shoot me a message. And we could work something out, or anytime, really. Doesn't have to just be new moon. But I found the new moon balancings and readings and meditations are fantastic. But really, if any part of you just feels like, yeah, I would like to experience community, I'm curious about these I Am Discourses, even if you didn't get the book yet or you don't get it and you just come for the first one, come for the first one and receive the new moon ceremony and balancing at the same time, because April is huge. April is a big month. April 2021, what we opened on March, the equinox on that weekend of the 21st, it is absolutely setting so much in motion, and we're in this bridge. But like May is coming and is going to have the possibility to be explosive and expansive, but we have to stay the course and do our personal work, whatever that means for you, whatever that looks like for you. That gets to be you and how you want to create in the world, but do your thing. And hi, Patricia. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you guys too. I'm going to go ahead and give the phone number again too, if anyone else wants to call in for a mini reading, or you have a question, or you just want to share something amazing happening in your world. The number to call in is 517-208-1500, 517-208-1500. So yeah, we were just talking about the new moon and the ceremony coming up, and then it's this beautiful convergence. So you can go to selfascensionstudios.com, and I did a write-up there about it, and discover more about how you can participate. And then, in May, it will, I believe, go back to my regular formatting for those new moon ceremonies. And the other exciting stuff that's coming up is that WWA mentoring that starts next week too, April 14th. So April 12th is the new moon. We will still be riding that new moon energy on the 14th, which also comes in as a peak up level moment, the up level day for April. It's Wednesday. The chalice is wide open, and WWA mentoring starts again. And you can check that out over at selfascensionstudios.com, shriandkira.com, WWAGlobal.com, all those places. And really think about getting in on the mentoring, because for less than $100 a month, you are getting 2 private calls, in your living room with Shri, Kira, and myself, and receiving guidance and wisdom, supercharging your visions and dreams. And those I know that are in the chat that participated have had amazing time. And certainly come along again, or come along for the first time. If you don't even know, you never heard of WWA Global, just come to the mentoring and come see what it's about if your heart's calling you, right? And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all in the chat at YouTube and Facebook, sending love around to everybody. And, as we dive more into this hour, the theme of connection, right? Connection and how we are connecting with ourselves, and with the world around us, because we are in this whole new era that we are creating and in is about connection. It is about oneness. It is about that there's more than just the me, right? We are moving from that era of ego dominance that is, it's all about me, or the spiritualized ego, which is really fun because it has a we energy, which is great. It's all about we, but it's still identified with the ego because it's about us versus them. We're right, they're wrong. It's still anchored in a victim consciousness and a blame energy. And it's very volatile. And that's where most of the world is right now. And that's why things seem pretty intense out there, because so many spiritualized egos are just banging against each other and yelling. But we're in this consciousness is available. Multidimensional wellness consciousness is available. That's fifth, seventh, ninth, and beyond for us to easily connect with and remember and channel and bring into this world of form. And then we begin to create from the I am presence, right, in a very directed way. So instead of being, in fear or chaos, we're in miracle manifestation. We're in the ability to create connections with the whole web of reality, and understand that we're co-creators in form doing so. We are at a place where we're able to finally, easily achieve enlightenment. It doesn't have to take years and lifetimes on top of a mountain to do it. You can do it quickly, really quickly. But it's sticky out there. It's really sticky. That's why it's so important to have these places and connections. So how are you fostering and facilitating your connections? How are you feeling your own connection to your personal self? We do have to connect to our body and our mind and our emotions. At the same time, we have to really remember the spiritual connection, or there's going to feel like something is missing. Where is that something else? That's usually the something else most people are searching for, and don't realize it, right? It's bigger than us, the little us, the body, the person that's here. But we have to be able to connect to all these aspects of ourself in order to be in wholeness. We can't. Something that will happen often is we will focus on our spiritual journey, especially when we're feeling really ignited and inspired, when we're first on this journey of connection with our spiritual nature. And we will say, oh, I don't even want to deal with being a person. I don't want to deal with bills. I don't want to deal with work and all of that stuff. I just want to be up here all the time. And there's no wrong, as Archangel Zadkiel will always say. However, that won't serve you, because you have a body and you're here and you have to do those kinds of things. And there's a magic in paying bills if you will let yourself go there, for example. But we have to be able to connect to the human that we are inhabiting that's very much like the connector to this world. And it's how we create things into this world. We've got 10 magic wands on our hands. Our fingers are our wands, and they create. There's an amazingness to the fact that we evolved and have hands and fingers, right? Because you literally create with your hands, right? If we're in divine flow and we're just channeling, and we're up there and we're not creating anything with it, what's the point? We came here to have an experience of a being in form manifesting as the creator. but what are you creating? That's the question. Where are you connecting? What are you connected to? Is it a connection or an attachment? Because what we often think of as connections are really attachments. We get really good at this one, and it's not surprising. It's how it's designed, and it's part of why so many beings are still in that ego or spiritualized ego place. It's attachments. We're attached to parts of our personality or our body as being really who we are. That's not connection, an attachment to how we have to look, feel, be, experience, right? That's not the same thing. Or we have attachments to relationships or places or people or jobs. Usually it's like because we feel a sense of safety. It goes down to those core chakras, the root, the sacral, the solar. They are very much chakras of the body, but while they are portals and universes in their own, and can connect to this multidimensional presence, they are what govern the physical body of form, and they are what keep us going in this world. And without those, we have no foundation, and our heart can't lift if those aren't in balance. So attachments are really all about, what's going to make me feel safe? What's going to make me, feel secure? And we developed them as young children and babies. This is what makes me feel safe or secure. And then we look for that in the world outside of ourselves. And those are attachments that we walk around with until we hit a moment of awareness. And usually we have to go through something to realize we had attachments and they weren't really connection. So a lot of times when we're going out and we're seeking a connection and we're not conscious, but we want that connection with divine, with spirit, with the bigger self. And if we don't have the language or understand or know our way, we just go look outside ourselves. That's what we've been trained to do since we were little. Look outside yourselves for the answers. And because for so long we've been dissuading people from looking within themselves for thousands of years, we know how to do this at an intuitive level. We know how to do this in our core, and many of you have stumbled across it just intuitively following your guidance. You have to be at a level of trust to do that. So congratulations, but a lot of it's fumbling around. And that's what my hope is with this show or anything I create, is that any being that's out there feeling like they're fumbling around says, oh my God, I feel like I'm not totally alone out there, because there's more of us that are finding each other and helping support and show each other there's a way. And it doesn't have to be my way. You have your way, but to be that model of, yes, you can do this, and connection versus attachment. It's going to feel expansive versus contraction. Something's an attachment when you don't really feel an expansion, when you don't feel a lift. And you might have to really follow inquiry into yourself if there's attachments you're looking at. But do they really ultimately open you up to a greater sense of peace, love, or joy? Or is there some of a collapse in there? Is there some of you hiding an aspect of yourself? Is there an aspect of hurt or um, anything that's a contraction that leads you to, it's about safety and drawing within. So even though that attachment might feed some of that sense of expansiveness in one way, because it's saying, oh, this is like a connection. When you really feel into it, it's like maybe you were looking for something, that divine connection or that desire for something deeper, and you placed it into another person or an object, right? And then at first, maybe it felt like it did fulfill that. You felt like, oh, I'm free, I'm happy. But when you realized it was feeding maybe an emotional joy versus a spiritual joy, it doesn't last. And you'll notice if you start feeling like the drop sensation versus the pop expansion sensation. So connection is going to always leave you feeling uplifted, whether that's with a person, place, thing, animal, plant, whatever, you're going to feel an uplift in your energy. Even if you had like emotions or things that got triggered or came up, that can happen. And you might think, oh, that's not a connection. I didn't want to feel that. Well, sometimes we're feeling something uncomfortable because the light is coming to reveal it. So you really have to trust yourself and go within and look into your connections and attachments. And where you have attachments, hey, no sweat. We've all been doing it and been trained to do it. No need to judge ourselves. That's just the awareness itself starts to lift us into the fifth dimension, where we can bring in compassion and love, and we start detaching from it automatically, you know? Um, Oh, hi, Lynn. And yes, Cindy, I'm so glad that you love the mentoring and thought mentoring was fantastic. We have a few minutes left here still. So if anybody's feeling like they want to call in, they want to share, they want a question, or like a reading, the number to call in is 517 208 1500. 517 208 1500. And I'll see if I can squeak in another call before we end today. The show's going by really fast. There's been like so much to share. You know, those of you that have been waiting for me to come back from break, it was a beautiful hiatus. I was at WWAGlobal. I was in Ecuador. And as much as I wanted to be able to broadcast my show live there was so much going on, you know, that it really had to stay in that container. And I can share that the connection happening there was beyond stunning. You can check out a lot of the free content on YouTube at Official Sri and Kira and see a lot of what was going on if you missed all of that. And I think you can still jump in and acquire the recordings from the event because they're truly timeless. So much happened. And we'll be doing another in September, and that will have a different flow. It's going to be a different energy and time, but we are bookending this March equinox. We're in a bridge right now. So where are you connecting? What are you connected to? Because it's really important, really important. Where are you putting energy seekers out there looking for a connection you could find within? You know, how often are we looking for it outside ourselves when we have to get that from within? And that's another key if it's attachment or connection. Often when we're in seeking mode, what we're going to end up with is a big old attachment versus a connection. But if the seeking comes from the intention, the integrity to develop connections with other beings that support expansion, you know, that's fully different. Once we become conscious co-creators of our life, it becomes a lot more fun. It becomes a lot more fun. And as we're connecting to, you know, our bodies, right now, our bodies are asking us for a lot of that attention and connection. Our bodies really, really do. They really want to feel safe. They really want to know that all is well. And so much has happened in this past year, which really has been lifetimes. You know, it's always incredibly important to spend time nurturing and nourishing the body and in a way that you feel drawn to or is correct for you. Trust your own guidance here. There's plenty of resources and places to go and places you can get started, but trust where you're being guided. Pay attention. Is this expansive? Is this tapping into empowering me, or is this, you know, making me feel less than? But you know, maybe it's a beautiful yoga class, maybe it's a nourishment program, you know, maybe it's getting out for walks in the woods more often and being intentional about creating physical movement in your life. Our bodies are needing, they always need this, but I mean even more right now. It's like physical movement. Move it, you know, and for you it might be gentle stretches, yoga. It might be intense. Yoga can be intense. It might be running, you know, it might be swimming, it might be slow walks. You know, it might be the breath work. It might be a combination of things. I really encourage people to not get into that mode of thinking like, I'm going to do this activity every single day. Absolutely, if that is the discipline you want in a particular activity, and that feeds you. But for a lot of people, it's a trap. I love to give myself, you know, a range of activities I can choose from that I do at a particular time each day. It's like Oh, I'm going to do stretching and breath work, or I'm going to go for a cross country ski, or I'm going to go for a hike, or okay, I have less time than I planned for, but I'm still going to do 5 to 10 minutes of stretching. I'm going to have options, because I know for some of us, this is kind of like a lifestyle tip, but for some of us, especially if you have a lot going on your plate and you try to dial in things and control your schedule and your physical wellness routine, that's just going to be like self sabotage, right? And then you won't be able to do it. And then you'll be like, why bother? And it starts over. So really give yourself flexibility. I block my schedule too. I don't really particularly love schedules and times and calendars. I block times out where I'm going to be working on, you know, marketing, where I'm going to be working on self care, where I'm going to be working on meal prep, But I like to just see it more like blocks of time where I do things versus like a minute by minute or something, So really feel into yourself for some of these things, like what supports you. Think about what you're intaking into your body and your mind. What are you watching? What's on the television? Who do you talk to around you? Who's around you? Where are your attentions going, and what are you digesting? It might be time to do a technology detox or break, right? It might be time to cool it on certain communications or conversations. Those are all things that are feeding us, the interactions that we're having with the world and what we're interfacing with. Really think about it. What are the different ways we nourish ourselves? Those of us that were in the 4-week sadhana before the equinox, I ran a 4-week sadhana, and we did our personal medicine shields, right? We were talking about the mental body, emotional body, spiritual, physical, all of those aspects of ourselves. That is the Shield of Zadkiel. And again, Shield of Zadkiel project, that's another fantastic place to go find information at ShriandCure.com, and a way to approach your wellness and your body. And as we're coming to, oh my God, it's almost the end of the hour. As we're coming to a close today, just again, connection versus attachment. Where are you connected? How are you connecting? Hey, check out WWA Mentoring over at my site, selfascensionstudios.com. Check out about how you can participate in the new moon ceremony this month in conjunction with the I Am Discourses, selfascensionstudios.com. Again, you can learn about it all there, or shriandkira.com as well for either of those options, and much more is coming up. I'm so close to launching my new website. I'm so close to so many cool new things that are coming. But right now, with all my heart, it's just like WWA and new moon and just this continued journey. Come every Tuesday. Try to grab me live if you like coming in live. It's at noon Eastern times every Tuesday here, Soul Fusion Cafe. I am back. So we will be here every Tuesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for those of you on the Pacific Coast. And, until I have the pleasure of being with you again, it has been beautiful sharing this time. I love seeing you all in the chat all over the place. I love the callers. I love the community and connection. And I truly wish each and every one of you, whenever you're connecting with this, a beautiful moment. This has been Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul forward living. And I am Jess Juntunen. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon.